Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirishio here, and now, before we do get started, let me go ahead and give a brief little review. In the last part, we had a number of events happening. Now, Deku, he went under for augmentation. Dr. Ujiko, he was trying to get things prepared to figure out how to augment Deku, because he is really a special case. Now, it had its own advantages, but it also did somewhat backfire. Deku didn't get augmented early, and some of his loved ones perished. Right now, after being put through a somewhat gruesome and intense session of augmentation, Deku's finally come out the other end alive. Along with that, Dr. Ujiko was able to make the Matrix somewhat malleable. He was able to put another quirk in Deku, but that might be the absolute limit. His body can't handle more power than that. He's done everything he can to make Deku powerful, to make him strong. He gave him the works. And Deku, he might have a bit of intense pain in his body trying to mutate, but that should somewhat go away, hopefully. The doctor has made it quite clear. The human body will naturally mutate to combat singularity. Deku, he's a little bit more than human. And Deku, after getting out, he went home. Unfortunately, he missed his daughter's birthday. He did see everyone again and reunite with them. But he did make things quite clear. Right now, he won't be around for very long. He's going to finish this. And that will be that. When all this is said and done, hopefully the boss of Japan, the leader, emperor of Japan, whatever you want to call him, the man who united every family under a single banner, will have a little bit of peace. He's lost people before, and he's done crazy things. Everyone thought he was dead, but right now, they're in for a very, very rude awakening. The man's alive, and he just destroyed one of Redestro's cities. The man, he is not aware of it just yet. But right now, he's on the winning side of the war. And that scale, it just had a weight on the other side smash everything down. Right now, the tides have turned, and he doesn't even realize it just yet. The plan's very simple. Destroy one of Redestro's cities, hopefully lure away a good chunk of Dark Might's forces, and then directly attack the main fortress that they're using as a holdout. A woman by the name of Anna is responsible for modifying quirks. Right now, that's the amount of information that lives have been spent on to gain. Deku once overhauls quirk destroyers. The man might not be able to get Deku any, but he can give him some pretty powerful quirk nullifiers. That is his best compromise. Deku currently has a box of those in his body, and he is flying as fast as he can to the battlefield. Towards that castle a princess is being kept in. Now, we do currently have on the battlefield a number of things are happening. This massive construct sits there. They've tried doing what they can for months, ever since this fucking thing popped up. They've attacked it, shot it, stabbed it, bombarded it with bullshit, and might as well have sent the force of the family at it. It regenerates, it heals, it has people come out and attack them. People who are augmented, or who are far stronger than they believe. They've had some of their own guys turn on them, be turned into mindless puppets, and they've drawn back. In the last month, things are getting worse. These people are getting more aggressive, and it seems like some people are actually turning to that side of the family, or to that family. Dark Might, as everyone has called him, the man wearing the face of All Might, he does currently sit in his headquarters, going over a few things on the screens. It looks lovely. It looks nice. Everything's gone according to plan. Right now, they've worn down quite a lot of people. They haven't seen any of the top 10 of any of the families, but at some point, they'll pop up. And right now, Redestro, he does go to walk in. His face a little pale. And he does go to talk about it. He thinks that they have a bit of a problem. What is it? Right now, I've lost contact with one of my people. What? My network. They check in. They've routinely kept me up to date on the situation. I got reports a couple minutes ago. There was a massive earthquake. And they've been trying to get into contact with the city. But it's gone dark. So, that's not that big of a deal. An earthquake? It's not that. Someone's been sent out to investigate and they're encountering Yagi forces. And one of our long-range people, they've reported in. The city's gone. What do you mean the city's just gone? I mean, it's been destroyed. How do you know that? There might as well have been a fucking mushroom cloud. That can't be right. Someone does gotta say. And right now, you do have Deborah, who does get a turn. The concern and worry plastered on her face. She knows this is bad. She has that feeling in her gut. And she does get a look at the boss, expressing, it could be him. He's dead. We never saw a body because they buried it in secret. Are you sure? Listen, right now, our people are gone, and something crashing in the side of the fortress. However, it does go to blast away a good chunk of the fortress. There is where Deku, he does go rocketing up into the sky after landing. And he does go flying backwards with a few spins, before throwing his hands out and flexing his back. The shockwave going to steady his momentum. And Deku, he does get to float there in the air. Right now, him going to look down on the battlefield. The entire fortress does get a shake, and the ground does get a rumble with the movement of the fortress. It starts to slide and then slump, before the part of it that does get obliterated does start to regrow. And then it does go to slam back down onto the ground. As there is where everyone, they're trying to figure out what the hell that was. And combatants, they need to turn their eyes to the sky. A man floating in the air. Right now, no one knows who the fuck that guy is. But they do get reports. Radios crackling to life. All units. This is a direct order from Sir Nadai to retreat. Right now, the boss has arrived on the battlefield. He does repeat. All units go into retreat. Any units who do feel confident in maintaining the perimeter or fighting fall back to a safe location. This is a mandatory order. Stay far away from this battlefield unless you are confident in your own survival. And people, they do turn to run. Some, it does take them a second to hear what he said. The boss, as in Izuku the boss, or Night Eye the boss. Right now, they're kind of hoping for the first one, rather than, well, the latter. And Deku, he does currently float there in the air. Right now, him with his hands up and going to stare on at the fortress. The thing moved when he hit it. That's good. Right now, though, it heals. He's wondering what he can do with that. Can he rip it apart piece by piece, or can he destroy it? Can he out-punch this wall? That sounds like a fun little game. And right now there is inside. Many of Dark Might's forces, they've already been deployed. Though he's not certain how many of them might have been affected by that first strike. Though, fact of the matter is, now they have to worry about deserters. If that guy is, well, him, that does mean a bit. Deborah filled them in on the situation. No one in Japan has ever really seen Izuku Midoriya run at full bore. What's more concerning is, the man gets stronger the older he'll get. So that's concerning. They know a little bit about One for All. But what they do currently know is they're in a bit of a situation. If the guy took time off to recover after his injuries, that makes sense. The guy nearly lost an arm. But then there's this. If he's augmented, he's not certain if they can actually survive this. They'll fight. I mean, shit, they've been augmented. But, well, this is going to be bad. Him directing everyone to battle stations and telling them about what they do need to do. Deborah is a big ace here. If she can look the guy directly in the eye, that means a bit. Right now, if they can take him over, they should be able to use him against them. And right now, Deku, he does go to look around. And a portal does go to open. The moment it does, he does go to blast down. And there is where a massive golden spear, it along with several others, do come flying out. Them splitting off from a similar point and flying through the portal, trying to hit Deku. And the moment Deku does go to land, he does go to throw his hand out and batter away two of the spears. Right on him, flying backwards as there is where he does a crash down and slide, digging his hand into the fortress as he does go to stand. And whenever Dark Might does come walking out, Deku, he does get a look. His eyes shooting to the ground as he does it to close them. It's the portal lady. Good. Deku pulling back his hand and charging up One for All, blasting out a massive strike as a portal does get to open directly in front of them. And Deku, he does get to plant his feet and throw punches. Air Force and shockwaves over and over again going directly at them. And Darkmight, he does go to stand there. Right now, the portal does protect them from the Force. And there is where a portal does open above Deku and smash that Force Rookie down onto him. Deku crashing into the fortress as he does go to sit there for a second. Him grinning. And he does it to stand up as Smokescreen does it to burst out around him. And Deborah, she does gonna look towards Deku's direction. Her activating her ability, but being annoyed by the smoke. He does have a counter. This is bad. They really need to figure out how to handle all of this. Boss, we'll be fine. Just stick close. It should be alright. Him going to look around. And Deku, he does go to blitz forwards and look around. Right now seeing Darkmight. But where'd the lady go? Wait, how is that possible? The lady's gone. Okay, that's not good. But there's two of the big guy? Shapeshifting? It's a possibility. Though, she picked a pretty big target. Got it, so gotta take out one of them. Isn't that the portal guy anyway? Fair enough. Him blasting out forwards. And Deku, he does go to have a portal open directly up in front of him as he does to activate Gear Shift, stopping his momentum as he struck Dorky in the back. And whenever he does have something strike him in the back, he does a turn, throwing out Black Whip and blasting Dorky at Darkmight. As there is where the man with gravity manipulation, he does it to augment gravity. Right now, Deku's Black Whip does go to smash down towards the ground. It, trying to arc up as Deku, does try to redirect it. And he does it to watch on. Right now, blob-like monsters do come rushing at him, along with many of the creatures that are in suits. And Deku does a somewhat chuckle. Right now, him blasting out Smokescreen and going to tell them all. They really did make a very bad mistake, didn't they? Someone smashing down and trying to find Deku. And when the smoke does it to disperse, Deku does as he Destro. Right now, him glaring at the man and going to use Gear Shift. Appearing in front of him and bringing his hand up, smashing him in the chest hard and sending him rocketing backwards. And the man does go to fly crashing to the ground. And Deku, he does go to stare at that, turning and cracking his neck. Before there is where someone, they do go to fire something at him. And he does a turn. Right now, Darkmight does a smash something across Deku's face as Deku does go to stagger backward. And he does have the vision in his left eye go out. Right now, him turning and looking back towards Darkmight. As he does go to use Smokescreen, and we're going to move up. Right now, he needs to figure this all out. The portal lady is still in the area. Redestro. Darkmight is him. Okay, good. He can't see the portal guy. So, a portal going to open. Danger Sense going off as Deku, he does have Golden Lake Spears fly towards him again. Him not looking up, but going to send out Air Burst to dodge out of the way. And a portal doesn't open up behind him. Deku crashing right through it as he does close his eyes and put his head down, bringing his hands up and smashing the Dorky onto the fortress. And a gunshot does get to go off. Black Whip going to lash out and catch a Cork Destroyer bullet. Right now, him going to break it as he did go to slash out towards it. And he does go to keep his eyes down, blasting out Smokescreen even more. And he does go to ask about their current time. We're on the way, boss. Right now, we're trying to make sure everything's fine. But this isn't easy. Are you sure you want us on the battlefield? I'm having to pull my punches a bit. Right now, though, it's not easy to try and figure this out. I'm fighting half blind. Right. Though, what else can we do? Nagant, you there? Not in position yet. Okay, hurry up. I need you to take that shot. I think the chick has a shape-shifting power. Right, okay. So find a copycat and blast their head off? Don't aim for the head. The very least, I can give you a chance. What do you mean? Well, it might be a bit risky, but I'm willing to play a long con. How so? Wait, you want to draw her out? I'm already bait. Deku going to somewhat laugh. And when someone does come flying through the smoke, Deku does a turn. Him throwing out a fist at Destro, he does go to counter Deku. The two do just stand there as the smoke does it a burst away. Destro does go to have black tendrils shoot Droki out from his chest, them piercing through Deku as he does get sent flying, scratching along the ground. Destro does go flying forwards and smashing down on Deku, bringing his hands up and going to batter him across the face and punch at him. The man grows bigger and stronger, though he does slightly shrink, realizing he might have just killed Izuku Midoriya. He might have just killed the boss of him having his hand go to be caught. And Deku, he does gotta throw his leg up, smashing him directly in the butt. The man rocketing over Deku as Deku does gotta slice the tendrils out of his torso. And he does go to throw his hand down and smash into the ground hard. The shockwave does allow Deku to jump into the air, and it does gotta upset his opponents. Him gonna spin through the air and go to crash onto the ground, landing on his feet. Before he does, with his eyes closed, throw his hands up. And everyone does it to watch on in horror. As Deku, he's regenerating. Along with that, he's augmented. Well, they're fucked, aren't they? That being some of the thoughts that do go through their head. And Deku, he does go to have one of his arms enlarge double in size. And he does start to laugh, staring at that before talking about it, with his eyes still closed, turning to all of them. You know, he has a lot he does want to talk to many of them about. Though he's sure him vanishing, reappearing in front of Dark Knight, him going to grab him by the throat and lift him up into the air, staring the man dead in the face. Right now, his enlarged hand does go to lengthen, and Dark Knight does go to be pulled off the ground. The man, alarmed by Deku's raw strength, and Deku does inform him. You know, he does have to think him a bit. His torso beginning to grow, his legs getting larger. And the suit, it does start to partially strain, but begin to spread material, trying to contain Deku's bulk. And Deku, he does go to stand there, about 9 feet tall, and holding on to the man. He does have to tell him thank you for a number of things. If it wasn't for him, he wouldn't be here now, would he, Dad? The man, his eyes go wide. Him angry, enraged, bringing a hand up and stabbing something jerky into Deku's shoulder. And Deku does a turn and stare at that. Right now, him watching as the quirk nullifier, it does poke into his skin, but nothing else. He doesn't feel it activate. All it does is sit there, barely breaking the skin, if not at all. He can't feel it, and it has no effect. Deku going to slam Darkmite Dork into the ground, slamming him over and over and over again, turning and going to chuck him into the air. Right now, Redestro does come at Deku. Deku throwing his hand out, grabbing Darkmite, and ripping him back towards him, turning and going to dodge a strike from the man's tendrils and throw out a kick. And the two are sent flying away. And Deku, he does watch a portal open and catch them, before he does watch a portal open up behind him as an eye currently does manifest on the back of his neck. Him looking around and trying to spot that woman. He's got to be a little careful. He's got a few new tricks now, and many of them, they're interesting. A crack forming on his forehead again, and he does feel it begin to run down his face. And there is where he's told about what's currently happening. Him turning as someone they do go to bring their hands up. Right now, them slamming gravity down on Deku as that quirk nullifier, it's forced deeper and deeper into his body. And Deku, he does gotta feel it activate. Right now, One for All does gotta turn off. And he does gotta feel his danger sense give way. And he does gotta stare at that. Right now, everyone, they do start coming towards him. And there is Redestro. Redestro, he's already called for aid. A number of people are intimidated, but if they can take down this guy, their positions will skyrocket. And they do go to come in. A portal opening as people do start to fall from the sky. And Deku does get a look up. Him happy, annoyed, a little angry. He's not sure how long this thing might last, but it should be a bit of time. Though, him lunging into the air. And where he does get a strike out to hit someone, they do try and blast fire at him. Deku, he does go to smash right through them as if they weren't even there, flying towards a larger man with concrete-like skin, crashing into him and leaping off. And he does begin to try and attack everyone in the air, smashing through, punching through, and eviscerating many people, before he does come moving back down, crashing onto the actual battlefield. And he does gotta bring his hands up and thunderclap. Right now, him watching as one of the copies, they do gotta be sent flying up into the air. The woman crashing down as there is where Deku, he does get to hear about it. Right now, they're here. Nagant is in place. When he can, give the order and she can fire. He'll head to the battlefield now to give him some backup. And Deku does delay that order, informing him. Right now, bringing his hands up and smash him into the ground. Watching as the regenerating battlefield, it does go to splinter, crack, and send force everyone's way. Telling him, right now, they have to deal with the brainwashing woman. When she's down, they can come in. Till then, stand by. And Nagant does it express. She's scouring the battlefield. She can't see much. He's kicking up too much wind. Along with that, too many abilities are being thrown around. She needs him to clear the air. And he does go to inform her. All she had to say. Right now, Deku looking around. And he does go to use Gear Shift. Right now, he does gotta throw a massive volley of punches in the directions of the villains. And he does gotta watch as the air bullets, they do gotta fire off like a Gatling gun, as all the villains, they do go to try to defend. Many of them are lucky, though many of them are not. Some do get hit by a full force strike, others, they're worried. And there is even Redestro and Darkmight. Darkmight does it as a giant fist flying towards Deku. Though there was where a couple of his strikes, they did go to split down the middle and crack the golden fist. Darkmight being struck in the shoulder by one of the attacks. And Deku, he did get to use gear shift and move. Right now, him flying forward and going to smash directly into Darkmight's face. Him watching the man be sent flying backwards, crashing down, and having that thing rip. And Deku does go to laugh just a bit more. Laugh a lot more. His size bulking up again. And this time his nanosuit can't contain the bulk. And his arms, they do tear through the sleeves. His body does get just a bit larger. And Deku, he does feel the wristbands around his wrist pop. And he does start to laugh more. His face cracking. His body starting to crack as well. And this, it means quite a bit. Everyone does it a watch. The man's body. He's covered in blood. He's covered in cracks. He's regenerating, but the damage. Are they actually winning? That being a concern many of them do have. It does bolster the resolve. But there is Deku. Deku, he does feel a massive fiery pain in his body. He does feel a massive jolt. Something is wrong. Danger senses a blare throughout his body. And Black Whip does begin to fire in every direction as Deku panics. The tendrils do get sent flying, crashing in every direction, slicing through people, slicing through the ground, slicing into the air and cutting at nothing. And Deku, he does go to feel it. Before, his body does have his torso go to shift, like someone is trying to push their way out from inside. And Deku, he does go to morph, tearing through his own skin, as there is Darkmight. He does get to watch on. All of them do, eyes wide in horror. Nagant, she was watching this through the scope. When the boss freaked out, she tried to look around. But her aim went back to the man to try and keep him covered. But when something came out of him, her eyes, they went wide. His body, it did something. And she felt her skin crawl. Before there was where Deku, he does get to stand there, back at his original height and looking at his own hands. Interesting. Looking at what was shed from the ground. Interesting indeed. That feels better. Him going to somewhat laugh. It looks like his quirks are back. Does mean a bit now, doesn't it? What the fuck did you do? Oh, aren't you afraid? Don't worry. There's a lot of things you should be afraid of. Right now, Deku flying forward. And the man is alarmed for Deku's arm does go to elongate and crash directly into his leg. Him roaring out in pain as Deku does go to grab him by the throat and smash him to the ground. And go to vanish. Redestro strikes flying directly into where Deku's back would have been. Right now, Redestro, he does go to get a knee to the face. Him going to stagger backwards as Deku, he does go to grab out with Black Whip, wrapping it around Redestro's forearms and pulling himself back in, kicking him directly in the face and going to wrap himself closer. And the moment he does have both feet against the man's chest, he does go to start pulling the man's arms, him putting a foot directly to the man's throat, and continuing to pull, staring him dead in the face, talking about it. So what can he really do? Him stabbing out and into Deku's body. But it does seem to be more futile. And Deku, he does start to crackle with even more electricity. And Redestro, he does try to think about how Deku's power works. It's been a minute, but he has to have the electricity around him, doesn't he? Doesn't his body... No, his body doesn't... Wait, what? And Deku, he does gotta keep pulling, and pulling. Before Redestro does a scream and roar in pain when Deku does rip both of his arms off. And he does go to fly forward and into a flip. Right now, him going to land and drop the massive gauntlet-like arms. His quirk quickly beginning to fade around them. And Deku does go to get back to his feet, looking around and going to pause. When someone, they do just stand there staring directly at him. And right now, he's caught in the same trap. And Nagant, she does go to see Deku. He was constantly moving. And then he froze. Her turning the scope and going to squeeze. And Deborah, she does start to laugh. She does start to go through it in her own mind. She got him. She got him. But what can she really do? I mean, shit. Everything's bad. I mean, they almost lost. They almost, a bullet flying directly through her side. And when she does a roar out in pain, she does go to feel something tear through her body. Her smashing down to the ground as she does a scream out in more pain. But her mind does to catch back up. She just got hit by a sniper. She was just shot. And her control lapsed. Right now, her going to turn. Izuku Midoriya is gone. But then some hands do to wrap around her eyes, covering her face. Guess who? Please. Please what? I'll do whatever you want. Just let me go. I know where Anna is. Do you now? That's very interesting. Black Whip flying out and going to block Dark Might's attacks. And Deku does continue. Look at that. The tendrils battering off the man's golden strikes. It does look like our boss doesn't even care that she's in the crossfire. Now, doesn't that mean something? What do you want? I'll do anything you want. Just let go of me. Can you bring back my loved ones? No. Then there's nothing you can do to stop me. Deku's fingers digging into her eye sockets. And she does a scream as Deku blinds her. Right now, him going to stand up. Him going to fly forwards and towards Dark Might, being able to give his full attention to the battlefield. And he does going to inform everyone. Right now, she's down. They can come in to strike. And this, it does mean a bit. Mirio, Muscular, and Tsunade, they do start to come in. And Deku, he does go to throw himself directly at Dark Might. The two, they do to fight each other. The man's wounds are healed. And he does start to use another quirk. Right now, him going to throw his hands out and grab Rookie onto Izuku Midoriya. Him trying to push the little shit back. He has tried over and over again, trying to outpower Deku, forcing him down to a knee. But Deku does get a push back again. He's tried being rational, being civil. Hell, he does get to talk about it. If he did create him, then join him. And Deku does go to nod his head no. Him going to open his mouth as Black Whip does a slash out towards the man's eyes. And the man, he does go to be blinded. Deku, he does go to then turn his arms, breaking both of his forearms. Bone is going to jut through his Deku. He does a pull forward and go to kick the man in the chest, foot going through his stomach. And Deku, while his leg is still through the man's torso, does a set that foot down and grab him by the throat, informing him, pushing back and forward with his head. Right now, him hearing the man roar out in some more pain. This is how things are. He hurt people he cared about. He killed a friend and a lover. Right now, he's a threat to the family. Hell, if the man tried to talk to him, approach him, anything of that type of sort, they could have sorted something out. But no. No. He had to play a game. Right now, a portal opening up under Deku. And Deku, he does activate float and use gear shift. Right now, him going to twist his wrist and pop both of them up into the air. Right now, making sure he doesn't get caught by the portal. He'd rather not lose his lower half. That's his favorite half. Well, the whole of it is his favorite part, but, well, yeah. He'd rather not have to think in halves. Right now, the only half-assed thing he'd like to do is kill them. But that's not really his goal. His goal is to make them think about it. And right now there is where the man with the portal ability, he's struck directly in the side of the head. Him alarmed and going to turn. And Night-Eye does a spin the pieces in his hands of the chest set. And Mirio, he does it to come in. Right now, him going to blitz the man with the monster summoning power. And he does be slammed down directly to the ground. Him out cold. And Mirio does get to talk about it. Now that's power! And Deku does get to somewhat laugh. Right now, all of them, they do get to look around. Dark Might, Voldo, he's not doing so hot. And, well, Deborah, yeah, she's down. This doesn't look too good. Right now, the man with telekinesis does try to think. Okay, they've already lost Bruno and Paulo. This is very bad. And there is where someone does a crash rookie down, smashing into the man with the gravity power. The man, alarmed as he does have a quick twist of his neck and pop. And Deku does it a turn, roaring out to Muscular, if he kills another one of them, then it's going to be his ass on the block. Does he get it? And Muscular does get a freeze. Right now, him informing the boss with a bit of a shaky voice. He understands, boss. And Deku does get a turn back. Right now, Dark Might, his body is still trying to regenerate, but it can't exactly force Deku's leg out of his gut. And Deku does gotta push the man off. Right now, him crashing back to the fortress and going to land. And Deku, he does it afloat there. Right now, going to just stare. A bullet flying through the air and crashing into Dark Might's side when he does get back to his feet. Another one hitting him in the leg. And another one does go to hit him directly in the family jewels. And Dark Might does a high-pitched squeak before falling to a knee. And Deku, he himself felt sorry for that one. Oh yeah. Ugh. You having fun? Still am. Another bullet flying through the air and going to smash the man directly into the neck. And she does go to express, pulling out another lock of hair, loading it into the chamber, and talking about it. Well, it seems like their agreement was kept. Portal guy. Sure. Her looking around. And the man with the portal ability, he is trying to figure everything out. He's opening gates all around him. And he's trying to make sure to close off any pathways that do lead to him. I mean, shit. They have a sniper, pieces flying through the air and past him. And the man does try to dodge and move, before a bullet is going to fly through and cut his leg in half. The man falling to the ground and going to rot in pain. And there is where a chess piece does strike him directly in the face, knocking out some teeth as he is going to try to open a portal on the ground. Though, whenever he does go to begin falling through, there is where Black Whip does to fly out and grab him. And Deku does a rip him back up into the air and go to hold on to the man. And forming the gaunt, she can have this one. And the man, he does sort of open up a portal, but he can't move. He's been immobilized. Him roaring out for Ugo to help him out. And there is where bullets that'll fly through the air and smash him directly in the side. Deku hitting the man with one of the Cork nullifiers before dropping him to the ground. And he does go to get back up, activating his quirk, and nothing happens. Right now, trying to think, trying to figure everything out. Okay, not good, not good, not good. And the man with the portal ability, yeah, he is taken down. And this, it is quite good. Deku does go to look around. Not many people left. And Dark Might, he does try to figure out what to do, how to handle the situation. I mean, shit, that they're done for. Anna, he needs to get to Anna. Right now, him going to hit the ground and go to move. Right now, it does open up and allow him to move into the fortress. And Deku, he does go to activate his power and go to throw his hands up. Mario rushing over and grabbing Deku. The two smash into the ground and going straight through. And Deku, he does go to turn, glaring at Mario, and Mario does go to look down trying to follow the man. Deku nodding and turning to look back down to follow him. And the man, he does begin to try and send things after them. Control the environment. That's what he has. If he sends enough of them after them, that can mean quite a bit. And there is Deku. Deku immediately does a burst forwards and smash the glass of the manor, before he does a use gear shift and move in. Right now, leaping forwards and going to crash Voldo directly through a bookcase. However, Deku does bring his hands up, he does go to open his hand. Right now, a Quark Nullifier smashing into his chest as hard as he can, and the man is roaring in pain. Before Deku does bring his hands up and grab him by the side of his head, both sides, informing him, "Now, it's over. All of this is over." Does he get it? Deku going to turn when he does hear some sobs. Right now, Dark Might, his body's still trying to regenerate quite a bit of damage. Though Deku, he does go to bring both of his hands down to the man's shoulders, squeezing down and breaking his collarbone. And the man is roar out in pain. Deku turning and beginning to approach Anna. He'll have to kill this woman. He doesn't relish it. But either she's complicit in their ploy, or her turning and looking up at Deku. And Deku does go to express. Him raising his right hand in a blade-like manner. Black Whip beginning to cover his fingers and the edge of his palm. Is she complicit in what they're doing? Who are you? Where am I? Where is this? You're in Japan. What? Japan? Yeah. Do you know what year it is? No. Her saying a year. And Deku hears about that. Not good. Not good at all. She's been under control for that long? Him reaching out a hand to tell her. There's a lot they can do. All of this is over. But right now, her going to stagger up to her feet and trying to get as far away from Deku as possible, informing him not to approach her. And he does get to watch her. Mirio turning and bringing his own hands up, approaching her and going to grab her. But the moment he does go to recoil and hit the ground. Right now, him passing out. And Deku does get to watch that. Anna, she does get a little hysterical, informing him to stay away. She doesn't want to hurt anybody. And Deku, he does go to bring up his hand and go to twist his wrist. Right now using air pressure and a Quark Nullifier. It going to fire from his hand and hit her directly in her arm. And she does a stagger and fall. Her going to sit there in pain and trying to figure out what he just did. She thinks that she's just been shot. Her arm hurts. And she wants to run. She doesn't know where to run to. She doesn't know where the hell this is. This place isn't familiar. Those people took her. They kidnapped her. Her family's dead. And emotions do begin to well. She's going to die here. Die like this. And when she does feel a hand on her shoulder, she does go to freeze. But nothing happens. And Deku does turn her attention directly towards him. Are you done? How? What? Are you done? Listen, I just hit you with a Quark Nullifier. For the next couple of hours, your power doesn't work. How? Why? Because you just knocked out one of my guys. Who are you and what is your quirk? Her just staring at Deku. And she does look down at her arm, pulling this thing out and seeing the needle. And she does just gonna grab Deku's face. Deku, not sure what she's doing, but she just does get a smile. Swan laugh, tearing up, crying and laughing at the same time. Right now, wrapping Deku in a hug and sobbing. And Deku does go to sigh. Lovely. Now he can't kill her. Apparently, she's one of their victims. Listen, we'll get you out of here and figure it out. For right now, you're coming with me. Her a little surprised. Deku throwing her over his shoulder and going to turn, walking over and grabbing Mirio, picking the man up and going to carry him at his side. A tendril does little fly out and grab Darkmight by his leg. Right now, Deku dragging him as they do to move. And this does mean a bit. Everyone is taken in. A number of the Galini family, they've been captured. Others have been killed. But the remaining survivors, Deborah Galini, Gil Galini, Ugo Galini, Simon Galini, they are still alive. Right now, they are taken in to Dr. Ujiko. And Dr. Ujiko, oh boy, he does start treatment. Deku does coordinate with Overhaul. The man, yeah. He hears about Deku's current situation. The woman that was being held captive by the Galini family was apparently someone who has a powerful ability. Right now, though, they need it gone. She explained it to them later. Her powers allow her to modify someone's power. But it's not easy. It's a rare occurrence, but when she does meet someone compatible with her quirk, she can give them a power boost. And those people, they're strong. Very, very strong. She doesn't like her ability, especially because it does harm her own physical body. She gets seizures and she feels quite a lot of pain. She had someone who could help her with this, but they've been killed. And now she does fear for what that does mean. But with the reveal that the man before her can take out her quirk, destroy her quirk, it does mean a bit. Deku himself is quite interested to see this. The fact that this woman can have her quirk taken out for just a few hours and actually interact with people was a godsend. But there's now. Now she has the chance to be rid of it. And that is beautiful. Overhaul, he does understand the situation. And he does tell them about what he'll be doing. He'll make the real Quark Destroyer as soon as he can. He already has begun to stockpile resources for it. And Deku does get a nod. Happy to hear about this. And there is Dr. Ujiko. Dr. Ujiko, he took Deku's prisoners and put them all in medically induced comas. There's a lot the man wants to do with his prisoners. First, he got to get rid of those pesky little quirks. Those might be very, very dangerous. And the doctor, he does start to go through and get rid of everything. It'll take a bit of time, but it will be doable. And in that time, Deku, he does make an announcement to Japan. The Gunlini family has been taken down. They are no longer a threat. This war with Redestro's faction is over because their boss is now captured. He'll make things very clear. Surrender or die. Those are the options they do have. Whoever is going to be taking over Redestro's territory, they need to understand this is not an option. Right now, he is declaring himself the sole ruler of Japan, the boss. And if anyone wants to challenge him, feel free to approach him. That is how things will go. And Deku, he does not hear much opposition. Some people do talk big. They talk about if they ever did see the guy, they'll take a swing at him. But they're quickly taken out. Many of them, they do talk about it. About the type of shit that could happen. Some are terrified at the idea that this guy just took over the entire country. But when they start hearing about his plans, many of them, they can kind of get behind it. Rebuild what's left of Japan, even though he destroyed a good portion of it, and try and make shit better. I mean, that's all he's really asking for. All the guy is asking for is to have a nice, lovely life now that everything is under his control. Happy life, happy wives, and, well, a family. Not just the family, but a family. He knows it's going to be something to think about in the future. One for all. This power can't be passed down to a normal person. Hell, it'll kill them all. It might kill the next user of his power. He'll have to maybe stockpile Quark Destroyer, pick a successor. If he has enough kids, one of them might be born Quarkless if they take after him. That'd be very ironic. Funny enough, he actually needs a Quarkless successor to take over after him. And then again, can their body even withstand the backlash of taking on the power? He's not certain of it. Maybe. But maybe he doesn't need to pass this power on. Just hand it over to no one. Hand over the reins of Japan to his children one day. Or anyone who does pop up who might be able to continue his way of life. His way of doing things. Restore peace to Japan by killing anyone who is going to disturb it. Not a bad plan. Not a bad plan at all. Deku does start to implement quite a few things. It isn't going to be easy. It isn't going to be simple. It will take some time. And it will definitely be unsteady and on shaky ground at first. But it does start. Under one banner, Japan, they do start to rebuild. And people, they do begin to see very, very big growth. Right now, they do start devising areas for where they can set up resource management. Places deal with food, crops, things of that sort. And Deku, yeah, he does do something very, very interesting. Law and order. Those things that used to exist that people still didn't follow. Except this time, he'll be shot. Yeah, it's gonna be a clusterfuck at first, but handling troublemakers is gonna be very easy. Right now, it's been a year. A lot of things have happened. Deku's life has definitely been interesting, and he has had to deal with insubordination. But it's been dealt with, it's been handled, and he's just happy it's finally over. That's the biggest thing. He does currently stand in a room in a city that his subordinate Redestro used to own, or as he should be calling him, the prisoner Redestro. The man does sit serving his sentence, life, with no chance at all. Overhaul's in control of the man's territories now. He is concerned about the crater, but it does serve as a warning of his prestige, of the might of the Midoriya family. And that's something that Deku he can live with. Emperor. It's been an adjustment, but hey, people do like his way of life. All he did is try and improve things. There are still some people they've got to hunt down, things they got to deal with, but hey, things are settling. And speaking of settled, someone walking up and expressing, so what is this gift he mentioned? She's got a lot to deal with. Besides, little Katsuki, he is with his grandma right now. Kendo, I think you'll want to see this. Her walking over and going to stare at a what what is that? That is the remains of the Galini family. It's a blob. What is this? Overhaul has the wall. It is on an island, and many people do fear being sentenced to it. I haven't officially made it a mandatory thing for lawbreakers, but it's an idea. Harsher punishments, you know. Ryoko, she is adamant about some of her design choices, and I am adamant about not caring. They can still handle their territories the way they do want, but this was something I made people well aware of. The punishment for traitors and the Galini family. They're inside that thing? Yup. How Overhaul made it quite clear. They can feel everything. The ground, the air, their nerves are cranked up to 11. They're in constant pain. They can't see, hear, or speak. The only sensation they do have is awareness of the floor and pain. I've asked him to add something, however. Originally, they couldn't understand a word we say, but they can feel it now. Feel it? Overhaul, he added someone. It was a little bit of a thing, but he did so more recently. a troublemaker. He felt that by adding the ability to hear, we can keep them up on current events, modern events. And it's a design choice I didn't originally want, but he did talk me into it. Right now, I've told them my thoughts on a few things, and I've even confessed a few things to them that I'm sure they are happy about. The people who killed him are in there. Yup. Her staring into the room, and they feel pain. All the time. All the time? Yes. I've been made aware that if we continually add people to it every now and again, they may not go mad. Just enough awareness that with enough time, their minds might just fade. That thing will just lay there, silently screaming. How do you know? Overhaul is designed to plan. We can take them apart every year and see what is going on. If they're still there. Then again, I like the idea of just keeping them in one piece. This is really fucked up. I've thought about what I'd do if I found them. That man. I don't know who killed him. Not officially. You don't? No. As far as I'm aware, I don't know which one of them killed Mirako either. That's a shame. But they're all suffering. They are? Good. Could you leave me alone? I'd like to get a few thoughts off my chest, off of my head. I take your time. Deku bring a hand to her shoulder, talking about it. Bring little Katsuki over any time she does want. He knows that the girls do enjoy her company. Please. You got a house full of women. I know, trust me. Besides, a number of us are starting to settle down a bit more. Ada and Ochako are together. They're a thing. I've heard that he might actually be getting her, well, with twins. Oh, so she's stuck. Right. Then again, Anna settled down with Mirio. She didn't cling to your chariot. Plenty of women are trying. You only date 2 women our age. Actually, I date 4. Really? Well, I mean, Mina and Momo. So that happened. Yeah. I mean, it's not that weird, is it? You killed a man and fucked his daughter. After killing her brother in front of her. When you put it that way, it sounds worse. You. You're taking the piss on this, aren't you? Yeah. Listen. Just get your thoughts off your mind. Besides, remember, Deku bring a hand up, telling her, come on by. Anyways, him waving his hand back and forth. He's gonna go. It's a lot going on. Besides, he's got to watch the kids. You don't sound disappointed. I'm not, actually. Things aren't chaotic. I don't have my back against the wall. And people stop trying to kill me. I'd say this is the most peaceful my life's ever been. But people are gonna try. I just know it. I'd say you're more intimidating, but I know you. Yeah, have to put on a show, you know? Fair. Then again, I'm fairly certain those girls are waiting for you. Am going to turn. And Kendo, she does still have some reservations, but she does turn back and walk forward, pressing a finger onto the microphone and letting her thoughts be known after Deku does leave the room. And Deku, he does think about his journey. A boy from the slums got a lucky encounter, and now he's the Emperor of Japan. He's the boss, and that does mean a bit. And with that being said, I do believe that does wrap up this story. Now, before this does end, I do want to say something. Writing this version of Deku has been both fun and very annoying. For a few reasons. This is one of those Dekus who, the way I have him set up, he is incredibly fucking paranoid. He doesn't take chances. It's fun, it's stupid, it's wacky. And then there's another fact I have tried to allude to, but I've also tried to make sure that it does seem normal to the characters. The fucking gray area where it does come down to morality. The fact that normal shit that everyone would bat an eye to, no one does care for. I know the whole idea is that after All for One was taken down by Banjo, morality is fucked in the highest degree in one direction, towards evil, villainy, and bad shit. But this story, it takes it to a bit more of a new extreme. I've seen many people do this concept and just switch the heroes with villains. But the idea that the echo of All for One remains is definitely interesting to me. How the world would be affected if All for One he left a bigger impact on society, and it just never healed right. That's an incredibly cool concept to me. Now, there's also the fact that I did cut a storyline where All for One returned somehow, fucking Emperor Palpatine did over here, but that storyline was cut. With extreme prejudice, might I add. Now, with that being said, this story did have its challenges in how to write it, and I thought I might have been able to get maybe 2 more episodes out of it. But this Deku, he's one of my more decisive Dekus who he's absolutely certain the moment he takes action with something. And if he does start thinking about things angrily, he typically just murders them with extreme prejudice. So, yeah, there's that. Now, with that being said, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this story. I had fun making it, and I know I would love to see more takes on the story in this kind of general direction. An actual twisted version of the world, not just replacing the characters. Anyway, guys, with that being said, I do hope you all enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next series.